Today for the point-to-pointing world should have been another busy Sunday revolving around planned fixtures at Great Trethewey, at Higham, at Bangor-on-Dee and at Barbary Castle, and that's just in the UK. More point-to-points were scheduled for Ireland, but all is quiet for another weekend, both sides of the Irish Sea because of the pandemic, and there has been nothing in Britain since before Christmas. However, hopes are high of some kind of a resumption in the middle of next month using many of the protocols that were put in place for the few point-to-point fixtures that did take place before Christmas and were much applauded. But the fact is that point-to-point racing, like hunter chase racing, is not considered an elite sport, doesn't reach that category. So what's been going on for everybody in point-to-pointing? I am joined now, we are joined indeed, on Luck on Sunday by Will Biddick, 7-time champion point-to-point rider and the winning most rider as well, joining us from his stables in Somerset. Will, good morning. It should be a busy Sunday for you and you're able to spare us the time.
Yeah, morning. I'd much rather be at Great Trethewey with a book of rides right now. I know that.
Well, thank you very much indeed anyway for joining us. How frustrating has it been that you have ridden goodness knows how many, what is it, 700 and something or 400 and something winners, but you and amateur riders not considered to be elite sports people. Do you find that frustrating, or do you just shrug your shoulders and accept it?
No, it is very frustrating because this is our livelihood and our job, and we're all very passionate about it. We still incur the same dangers and risks as the professionals, and it'd be nice if we were able to ride now, and the sooner that can open up, the better. Hopefully, it won't be too long, and we can keep kicking.
And are you, like me, getting the vibes that could be sort of within the next month or so, and the point-to-point authority is gagging to get on with it?
Yeah, I think by mid-March or the back end of March, we're pretty hopeful it'll be going ahead again. We proved the sport is a safe sport to do behind closed doors, and there's been no outbreaks or related incidents from the fixtures we've had so far. And the races are spaced out and go right up until the middle of June. Like I say, it's we've proved we can do it in a safe manner, and it's all ready to go. And
point-to-pointing, the definition of point-to-pointing, the image is boots open, port, people charging around a field. However, it's certainly not Irish point-to-pointing, is that British point-to-pointing anymore, or is it really much more commercial than it ever was in the past?
No, that's a massive part of the point-to-point. It's a social gathering for friends and families and locals, and just a good way of getting people together and watch some good racing. But it is definitely getting more commercial, and it's probably to keep the sport going and keep money in the game. It's probably the right way to be going. We've got some good trainers coming through now, and preparing horses, buy them at the sales and winning them and selling them on international hunt racing. And it's a proven, it's a good stepping stone for those young horses.
And tell us about your operation, because clearly you can't run horses in point-to-points at the moment. I know you do breaking of horses and pre-training as well, but specifically on your point-to-pointing, what can you do with your horses? What is happening to the horses?
We're fortunate enough. We've got 1/3 of the yard will be pointers, but the rest will be producing young national hunt horses, whether breaking in or pre-training. But what seems a bit silly is we can run Porlock Bay in a hunter chase at Wincanton. Yeah, I can't. We can't even go to a point-to-point. I think that's the way it's going, and it'll work out now. We'll know a bit more what Boris says, and we'll hopefully it's only around the corner that we can get back onto the races again properly.
And we talk about horses that have graduated from British point-to-points. The most obvious example is Energymen with Willie Mullins. I think that won a Lark Hill point-to-point. Santini, well fancied for big things, that started its point-to-point life at Didmarton, ridden by Mr. W. Biddick. So people of Santini, obviously a leading contender for the Gold Cup, people are inclined slightly to either love him or hate him. What's your view of Santini, and what was your view when you rode him that day in his maiden?
Yeah, trained by Ed Walker. He won at Did Martin. Gave me a lovely feel. Big raw baby that didn't really know what he's doing, and has obviously improved dramatically and gone right up the ranks. He's an out-and-out stayer that he doesn't make life easy for him. He's not the quickest, but he's obviously got an engine, and he'd be one of the best ones I think I rode in pointing that I've won a maiden or restricted on. But you can't forget the other horses. Fran and Charlie Nimmo, and Tom and Gina Ellis. They're producing young horses, and with Phil Rowley, with Kintara winning there at the first point-to-point meeting at Ottery, and winning its bumper at Warwick the other day. We're starting to hold our own now against the Irish horses, and we're proving that we've got some good stock coming through.
Do you fancy Santini for the Gold Cup, or do you fancy him more for the Grand National? He's in there too.
He'd be a good spear, and I'd ride him anywhere. I wouldn't like to say which place I'd rather ride him.
And talking of horses who've made names, who you've been involved with in the past, McFabulous, trained by Paul Nicholls now, and very much a rising star hurdler. You've been involved with him.
Yeah, so we had him from the start. He came back from the sales. He's a big, strong Milan horse that he showed natural ability right from the start. He was doing things that he shouldn't really know how to do, and just oozing natural talent, whether it was jumping or on the gallops. It's a pleasure to have a horse come through the yard like that and say that I was the first person to sit on his back. And
he's trained by Paul Nicholls. You're talking to us from your stables, which is pretty close to Ditchett, isn't it? So you see the Nicholls operation very close up.
Yeah, no, Paul's been a massive support of mine, and given me a big leg up in the area that I'm in now with the producing of the young horses. We've had some lovely horses coming through, and all the horses that he's been running. A lot of the bumper horses he's ran this season. We've had them from the start and produced them and given them racecourse gallops and schooled them, and when they go into their national hunt yards, they're good to go. They run straight. They're behaved, and it's really rewarding for us at the yard to see them progress. So it's a nice little thing that I'm doing on the back of the pointing.
And he's obviously got the material, but there are so many other aspects to the Nicholls operation. If you were asked to put your finger on the one thing that makes him one of the great racehorse trainers of our age, what would you go for?
He's a breed of his own. It's infectious being in his company because he's so enthusiastic and positive about everything. He's always aiming high and putting horses in to get the max out of to get the maximum ability out of them. I'm forever learning off him, and that's just being in his company or around him. And he's a bit of a genius, really. He's always trying to modernise things and upgrade things and source the best horses. We've got a really great system now that I'm fortunate enough to be part of, where you're buying these stores and producing them, giving them time, get as much behind the scenes experience in them as possible, and not rushing them. And that's now proven with the system I've had going with him for the last 3 years with the bumper horses. It's all trying to get longevity out of that horse and to get the maximum and find that maximum ability they've got. He's a bit of a genius, I think.
Yeah, and you've worked closely with Venetia Williams as well. I can't let you go without reflecting on the 2009, what is now the Paddy Power Plate. Something Wells, a 33-1 winner, and you're, as we see the film here, you're in second place, and it was Ping Pong Savola for the same stable that you beat, wasn't it? With Liam Treadwell.
Yeah, I'm just thinking board. Now it's actually just making me think a bit, because obviously Liam Treadwell, who's sadly passed away, he's upsides me, and we were living together at the time. He hadn't had a Cheltenham winner before this day, and then I'd come along and trying to do 10 stone 7 in a pancake in a saddle the size of a postage stamp, and beat him, and he was a bit gutted, but I think the year later he won on Carrick Boy, or 2 years later. So he got his Cheltenham winner. But that moment was a phenomenal day, and I probably didn't. It probably didn't sink in as much as it should have at the time. But you know, my hopes now are with the Fox Hunters, and I'm hoping we can ride again in this March Fox Hunters. But we'll see. If not, we've got a horse from the yard. Paul Nicholls going to run, and if I can't ride him, then Lorcan Williams will have the leg up.
Okay, just say the name of the horse again.
Paul Nicholls.
Paul Nicholls. So looking forward. In fact, I don't know if that's good news or bad, but I think ITV's Luke Harvey tipped it on television over the last few days. So I don't know if that be considered good news or bad. But the Cheltenham Hunters chase is the plan, is it?
That'll be the plan. Yeah. He qualified. He won a men's open at the Kimble with the Kimblewick Hunt at Kimble before Christmas, and then Lorcan was second on him at Wincanton in a hunter chase a couple of weeks ago. So he's come out of that really well, and we'll have a go. And like I say, I haven't won the Fox Hunters at Cheltenham, but hopefully I can give him the leg up.
Excellent. Well, look, fingers crossed for Paul Nicholls, fingers crossed for Point-to-Pointing as well, and no doubt the Great Trethews and the Hyams and the Barbary Castles will be featuring on your Sunday. So you won't be available for luck on Sunday. I hope that's in the not too distant future. But thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
That's Will Biddick joining us from his home.